Hello, my name is Katie Chapman, and this is my final project presentation for IDS 403 Preparing for the Future. For my project, I've selected to discuss the topic of social media's effect on society. Technology and its advancement plays a significant role in shaping societies. Technology not only affects individuals, but it also influences many aspects of culture and directly impacts class systems, gender identity, and exerts social control. Technology also impacts the way humans engage and communicate with each other, is a force for social change, and directly causes new social issues to emerge. Technologies are generally created to solve problems, assure efficiency and control, for convenience and more, but they have an enormous impact on the everyday operations in modern societies. For those who have to commute to work, they have the luxury of choosing from technologies such as bicycles, cars, motorcycles or mopeds, trains, and subways. Others are able to use technology to teleconference or telecommute from home or anywhere else in the world. Technologies open societies and businesses up for possibilities and in turn greatly influence social construction. Because technology has such a strong influence on society, it also becomes a force for social change. The social constructivist argument was developed to challenge the idea of technological determinism, or the belief that technological development stems from natural and logical order of progress, because the social constructivist argument states that technological advancements are not out of human control, and instead, society shapes and directs technology in every phase of its development, from conception to production to use and non-use. Social constructivists demonstrate how individuals and groups contribute to the direction of technological development, but they take it a step forward by stating that once the technology is developed, society has the ability to decide if, where, when, and how it will be used. Previously, when someone had an issue that needed to be resolved, they would need to go to the nearest location of the business. Now, because of technological advancements, consumers have a luxury of troubleshooting their issues from home by phone, email, and even instant messaging. Because this is all available to the consumer now expects it to be available in many different facets. For example, should a business not offer phone and online troubleshooting, they appear outdated and inconvenient to the consumer, possibly leading to less sales. Sociologists in particular are very interested in the way social media is drastically altering societies. Social media falls under the media institution, which contributes to shaping of individuals. Additionally, sociologists are interested in determining the depth of social media's influence and if social media has actually become more influential at shaping societies than other institutions such as religion, education, family, government, and economics. In this course, we have discussed artificial intelligence, which is present in vehicles, computer games, the internet, smartphones, and of course, social media, and it has absolutely shaped our interactions and usage of technology through an interdisciplinary lens. AI analyzes our preferences and automatically controls what we do and do not see. The positive aspects of AI determining our preferences and eliminating unnecessary information is beneficial for time management and basic interests, but it can also be negative as it eliminates information and resources we may find interesting and beneficial, creating an information vacuum. With all the wonderful advancements technology has brought us, it also creates societal issues. For example, social media and social gaming can cause issues in face-to-face communication and relationships or marriages. Moving jobs or businesses to other countries means loss of jobs here. And internet advocacy can be great for spreading the word and support about causes, but it has also created a generation of chair advocacy, also known as slacktivism. For each technological advancement, there is a possibility for a corresponding social issue as a result. All societies are undoubtedly shaped by technology, but one of the most common is the computer-mediated technology, social media. Social media websites and applications were created to enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. Social media has greatly affected the way people interact with each other, which includes lack of attention, craving acceptance and popularity, the way they function, prioritization of responsibilities, determining their own worth and the worth of others, alterations to linguistic communications, etc. People all over the world and of every generation utilize social media, but it is the younger generations that are most affected by it. For a growing number of people, specifically younger generations, social media is a way of showing everything they are doing, from grabbing a coffee, going to the gym, pictures of the vacation they are currently on, whether they are in a positive or negative mood, and more. I've heard the joke numerous times, but it seems many people take it seriously, that if it is not documented on social media, it didn't happen. It is important to know that this type of activity is drastically altering the way younger generations interact with each other, and many of their uses of social media alter their nature in order to gain favor from strangers, which causes conflicts. Conflicts include changing the way people communicate in the real world, attention spans being shortened significantly, making it harder for people to sit still and be present without social media, and potentially making themselves vulnerable with the information that they post online. Additionally, studies released in 2016 found that social media actually shapes political involvement and engagement for millennials. The global technology, social media, and its uses is connected with the topic identity that is discussed in this course. From a sociological view, labeling theory would dictate that someone who does not take part in social media is deviant or non-conforming, and therefore will be labeled as being outside the norm and would possibly not fit into many social cultures, i.e., high school social cliques. For younger generations in elementary, middle, and high school, it is essential for their success navigating social waters to conform to those around them, even if it means conforming to a group who as a whole band together to act deviant, such as jocks versus goth kids. The key is to assimilate with some group, and in our current society, that includes using some form of social media technology. Individuals are expected to create a digital identity, which is the identity a person creates for themselves as part of their online persona that is often not a realistic interpretation of their real-world self. This knowledge informs my understanding of the issue because it clearly shows that social media is not just used for convenience, but it is a way of holding a social standing within a society or culture. Another example is prospective job seekers and the necessity of using social media technology such as LinkedIn to make connections and find job openings. Without a vast knowledge of computer technologies in most societies, your vocational options are limited, and by taking advantage of these available technologies, it is an additional way of displaying your skills and knowledge. From a cultural anthropological view, this issue of social media identity for younger generations specifically has a power, and thus has become a cultural norm. In order to be fully assimilated to the culture, individuals must take part in the social media's broad communication and collaboration, such as creating and sharing of information, ideas, career interests, and other forms of expression by way of virtual communities and networks. Some sociologists predict that at the current rate of popularity of various social media technologies, interpersonal interactions will continue to decline. Social media platforms have completely changed the way people interact with one another in social relationships, as well as changed the way people connect with each other, such as sending social media messages instead of calling or texting. Additionally, social media technologies have altered the linguistic nature of communication. Many new words have been created due to social media, and people communicate with abrupt statements, abbreviations, and even simply using emojis, which will likely escalate as it has thus far. Assessing the effects social media has had on language, anthropological linguists are interested in how language has changed based on geographical and societal influences, whereas educators are more interested in the effect social media has had on a student's success as a hindrance or potential asset. However, this issue of personal identity linked with social media approval is troubling for many professionals. Social media has made people tie their own self-worth and the worth of others with the attention they receive in the virtual world, such as the number of likes, comments, and reposts, and people will create what is called a digital identity, which is a way of making themselves appear a certain way with specific characteristics, interests, accomplishments, and more, which is often not realistic or congruent with their real-world identity. Psychologists are interested in how individuals make themselves appear to the real world through social media technologies and the desire that drives them to do it. Another concern of psychologists is the long-term effects these false identities have on the relationships of younger generations. Because younger generations often do not understand the implications and complications their digital footprint can have on them forging new relationships, career and educational opportunities, and that every comment they like and every picture they post will create an image of the individual which could be in their favor or used against them, I believe it is most important to create a plan that focuses on the digital identity of younger generations. Many schools across the country require students to take courses their junior or senior year to prepare them for what will come next, and I believe it is important to implement a section of the curriculum that focuses on digital identity, footprint implications, using social media to your advantage, and more. Schools could also choose to specifically bring in professional digital identity coaches to integrate their teachings into existing courses. The lessons could utilize current technologies to show not only how the digital identities you create can be destructive to your own self-view and to your success, but also how an effective digital identity can have a profoundly positive effect on your self-worth and it increasing your possibilities. Digital identities are often viewed as an extension of their in-person identity and as such can be beneficial or detrimental. The technologies can be used to help the students create their own digital identities with their professor or their coach, marketed directly in conjunction with their educational goals or vocational goals, which could be tailored to meet their needs using various social media technologies. I would implement my plan with an interdisciplinary lens using sociology, English and language studies, psychology, business, and of course technology. The curriculum would allow students to use sociology to determine the culture or social requirements associated with their career or educational aspirations, psychology to determine what exactly the target audience is looking for, and business of how to market yourself to their needs. English and language studies to ensure correct grammar, punctuation, and appropriate writing styles, and finally, studying the technologies that can help the students market themselves and reach their goals. The program would consist of multiple steps and would begin in the student's junior year of high school, so they would be able to clarify their goals early and determine their strengths, and in their senior year, they would create digital identities on multiple sites such as LinkedIn and Facebook that correspond with their goals. Each of the interdisciplinary subjects contribute to the projection of one's self, and proper utilization can go a long way toward furthering a person's goals. Elements of this model could also be used for those out of school who are looking to market themselves for job opportunities, their hobbies or clubs, and more. Many people create digital identities that are completely inaccurate and potentially harmful to their self-worth. Social media technologies such as social media instead should be used as a tool to benefit the individual, which would in turn highlight the person's true self-worth and not the things they have previously associated with self-worth. This concludes my final project presentation for IDS 403 Preparing for the Future. I am Katie Chapman. Thank you.